And we are live. What's up, Internet? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Just Some Perspective podcast. I am your host, Mosh, and my apologies. I've been a bit slacking this week. Work has been kind of kicking my ass, man, this week. Is no joke sometimes, and it's okay. We all have those busy times, and we get it gets so hectic that it's hard to stay on top of things, right? That's like life of as an adult, basically. We become like the best task managers, and task completers or whatever, always working on one task after another, and pretty soon you just run out of energy to do anything. But I digress. It reminds me of an awesome quote I heard actually, which was, if you don't sacrifice for your goals become the sacrifice. Banger. Love it. Hope you all had a great week. Okay, it is Friday, January the 17th, and halfway through the month. Wow. Time is ticking, as of course. I'm going to try not to make too much light of that. Obviously, time is moving at its pace, as it always will, right? But but work has been a bit rough, okay? And I did not meet my own personal expectation of recording multiple pods in a week, multiple episodes, and I realized like, whoa, I just don't have it in me, after just a crazy work schedule and sleep schedule and what have you. So, but all good. I'm back here. It doesn't matter if you fall down, okay? It doesn't matter if you miss a workout one day. It doesn't matter if you eat bad one day or a couple of days or whatever. It doesn't matter if you're late one day. The idea is consistency. It's not about intensity, right? So it's consistency. Just keep going. Even if you do fall back or even if you don't hit your mark, it's fine. The point is consistency, is not intensity. And that's true in the fitness world. Okay? It doesn't matter if you miss one day. Okay? And you can even get away with missing a week if you just get back on the horse, right? Getting back on the horse is the best way to put it. But yeah, so that is the key. I've reiterated that many times on this podcast. So if you listen to me, you probably understand the value of consistency. So, but I hope you all had a good week. Yeah. Lots been going on, I think the fires in California are getting a little bit better handled. Shout out to everyone in Cali. Prayers to everyone, of course. We're going to see a lot of news from California the rest of this year and probably the next few years, It is what it is. Praying for them, of course. And if anyone can help out, obviously insurance companies and whatever are going to do most of that rebuilding, okay, of properties and such. Now, who could really use your help, okay, would be disaffected animals and people who don't have anywhere to go, right? So the Humane Society, the Red Cross, people who are in dire need of medical help and what have you, I would highly recommend, if you could spare a donation to them, I would 100% would advocate for that, okay, especially animals, right? If you're a dog owner like myself or a pet owner in general, I think the hardest thing as a pet owner is seeing other animals and other pets suffer, right? Because it's already difficult when you have your own. So highly recommend, if you can, please donate to your local Humane Society, or in California in particular, based on in light of this tragic event. But praying for Cali is again. But besides that, the month is moving on, right? And I wanted to the story I'm going to talk to you about is kind of a little bit outdated, but it dates back to last weekend, right? Quick update on last weekend. I hit up the spa with some friends. That was a brand new experience in the sense that it was a wintertime spa day. And not only was it wintertime spa day, you're in outdoor pools. You're outdoors the whole time in cool, semi-cold temperatures, right? So that was fun. That was crazy. And I was shocked at how, I'm going to give a plug here. I was shocked at how full it was. And it was really because of an awesome winter cold special that the place had. I will give a big shout out. I highly recommend this place. It's called World Springs, and it is based in the Colony in Texas. Amazing establishment, amazing place. And having been there a few times already, I highly recommend. They have so many pools, so many waters. You can go from hot tub, mineral hot water to cold plunge to hot. And you can do real massages, what have you, saunas, all that self-care stuff is available. And the staff is just phenomenal, on top of things. Incredible, beautiful vibes, beautiful atmosphere, and a lot of cool people there. And everyone's pretty chill and easy to make friends, you know. So, highly recommend for people who seek self-care and any kind of self-care treatment or a spa day like that. So, shout out to World Springs in the Colony. Where I like to begin, right, is my day at the spa on the cold winter night of last weekend, thanks to the wonderful half price that they had offer for the cold winter day. It was really fun, and I gotta say the feeling of being in a hot water while it's cold outside is like hard to describe. It's phenomenal. It is like the beauty of contrast, you know, the beauty of it's like duality, you know. You're in the hot water and you're in the cold temperature. It is cold outside. I mean, it's not freezing cold, but it's chilly enough in the 50s or 40s. That's pretty chilly. But you are in your summer pool complete outfit. Everyone, girls wearing bikinis, guys wearing their just pool shorts and, you know, and mostly no shirt. And you forget that you're in the winter, man. I'm like, this is January. I'm in spa in the pool in January. That's crazy. That's mind blowing to me. And as one guy said, if you've done the lodge thing, if you've been to a lodge in the mountains, right, that probably is something you're used to. From a day of snowboarding or skiing or whatever, hiking up a cold mountain, you know, on a cold winter day, and then to end your day in the hot tub in the winter time, that must be a phenomenal experience, you know. I haven't done that before. I'm hoping to do so, but I will say I was genuinely surprised at how many folks were there. Now, granted, that winter deal was too cool to miss. Okay, that's my ice pun. I was making a bunch of ice puns with my friend, but yeah, that deal got a lot of people in there, and I was amazed, but I was also like kind of pleasantly surprised to see that many people taking advantage and kind of braving this cold weather, right? So, you know what's interesting? I've just the ability to go to a spa, and your biggest problem is that you're cold or something. Your biggest problem is this water is too hot, or this water is too cold, or I can't do cold plunge too long. Oh my God. How good your life has to be to forget that you're actually in a luxury situation. Okay. So give you an idea real quick. So, some background, right? Thanks to my buddy, a local guy, Asan, a good friend of mine. He introduced me to the local spas here, and we end up going to this one, World Springs, kind of randomly based on another experience, which I won't get into. But I realized, like, I'd never done cold plunging before, and I've seen the benefits of this. Okay. And I'm going to give another plug, a big shout out to one of my favorite podcasters and favorite podcasts out there, which is Huberman Lab Podcast by Andrew Huberman, Dr. Andrew Huberman. Highly recommend. He is one of the best in the world, and he has an episode He has a podcast episode that I really love just about the benefits of cold and heat exposure, okay, to the body. I'll let him go into that. There's obviously a lot of benefits. Otherwise, people wouldn't be, it wouldn't be as common or popular on social media as it is now. But I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm getting older. My joints are getting stiffer. I try to stay on top of diet, exercise, work, home, family, all these things. So I probably need to take this health self-care stuff seriously. So that's when I got introduced to this in particular spa location, and especially cold and hot water, plunging. Cold plunging is definitely not for the weak. It is not easy, especially your first time. It is tough. It is very tough. It's essentially very painful, but it's voluntary pain. You know, it's voluntary. You obviously don't have to, and it's basically the best way I can describe is you have to mentally prepare yourself. Okay, honestly, it is 100% mind over matter. That water is cold no matter if you jump in or if you slowly walk in or whatever. And if you're trying to base the experience on your comfort level, just forget about it, okay? Because it's not comfortable. It's not going to be comfortable. Actually, the purpose is discomfort, okay? Here's a quick banger. Your comfort wouldn't even mean anything if it wasn't for discomfort. Did that make sense? Mind blowing. I was thinking, a lot of people, when I was sitting in the hot tub, in the hot mineral water, just chilling for a bit, I noticed people would be like, "Oh my God, it's too cold," or "Oh, let me go in for 10 seconds, get me on social media, get me on Instagram," and then get out. Me, who's basically done this cold plunging thing at least 5+ times, maybe upwards of 10 now. I was like, man, these these people, man. Like, when I see that, I kind of got a satisfaction knowing I am mentally tougher than most of you guys right now. In this spa I'm talking about, in that particular spa day, right? And yes, cold plunge is not supposed to be comfortable. Okay, there is benefits to it, which you can look up, of course, on your own, and it's all over YouTube and social media. Huberman Lab podcast has an whole episode for that, which I highly recommend. It's one of my favorites. I've listened to it a few times. And for me, it is a mentality thing, okay? Having done it multiple times, and I actually felt like I was gonna, my feet were gonna freeze off or something, or my ankle was gonna break off because of how much pain I'm getting from the joints. None of that's gonna happen, within 30 seconds or a minute or a couple of minutes. It's just not, right? Your body is supposed to withstand that. And thanks to my buddy there, actually that's a key, actually, is having someone you can count on essentially coach you or guide you in your first couple of times is very crucial, I would say. And I'm happy to say I was able to guide a young couple in their basically first cold plunge, and I helped them set a target of 30 seconds. And I said, look, if you follow me, I'm going in there with you, okay? Because my target is 1 minute, and I'm going to time myself on my phone, on my timer. And you go in with me, okay? Just follow what I say. I promise you, I'm not going to lead you astray. And I've done this before. I know the steps, right? And so follow these steps, and those steps are basically set your time. For me, it's a minute. And if it's 30 seconds, make it 30 seconds, but don't leave before that time, right? Set your time, go in there, focus on your breath, focus on breathing. It's extremely crucial to focus on your breathing, and you have to breathe a lot. Some people may not have to breathe so much to make it to their time, but I certainly had to. And so focus on your breathing, set a target, get in there, stay in there. Your brain is just going to say this is too cold, and the pain is going to be too severe, obviously. And that's a natural reaction for your brain, because the signals from your basically from your central nervous system from the reaction from the cold water is going up to your brain, and it's like it's flooding with chemicals right now saying it's too cold, and this it's going to be painful. But that shock is leading to the health benefits later. Okay, that's the thing. You're increasing the scope of your discomfort. Okay, the region, how much discomfort you can handle. That means your body is fighting to your cells, and your cellular level is supposed to make you stronger and make you fight whatever pathogens or heal faster. It's about these benefits will come after the effect, after you push yourself in the cold water, right? And I was very satisfied, to be honest. I was pleased that that couple trusted me, and the young couple, and they made it. They hit their 30 seconds. That's all they have to do. Just be in there 30 seconds. Do your breathing. Put your mind on something else. Very crucial. Their whole mindset shifted. Okay, very simple. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, someone who has experience in said thing, like a coach, right? Teacher, professor, mentor, whatever. You only want to listen to someone who has experience in exactly the said thing that you want to accomplish, or the thing you don't have experience in that you are trying to, do for the first time. You want to learn basketball from the best, or a proven basketball coach, or former NBA player, right? Or swimming for Michael Phelps, if you're lucky to do that, right? Or whatever. Business from Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. I digress, right? You want to learn from those with proven track record, proven experience in said area, right? And I'm happy to say this couple made it the 30 seconds. They're like, that it was uncomfortable, yes, but the goal is to minimize the discomfort and focus on the goal, which is get in there for the set time and not think about it, and get out after you're done. And then in the future, set future goals and set future new times and new marks, right? So I was proud of that. And so, but yeah, when you're there, it's mostly couples, right? I'm one of the few kind of singles out there, but I have a group of buddies that were there. I hung out with them later on, and that was fun. We had a good time. What's funny is most people are just there, just going in there, the cold plunge, just to show off on social media. And I'm like, bro, forget about social media. Why not just push yourself in real life? Just because this is real life, okay? Forget about your phone. Forget about the internet. Like, you are here right now. You know whether or not you can get in that cold water or not. Forget about if the internet knows or social media knows. I know I can do a minute multiple times in the water. That's a W for me. I collected a mental W for the day because I proved that I can do it, and I did do it a few times. And so yeah, I just noticed there was one guy with his girlfriend. There were many couples there, but one other guy with his girlfriend has probably never cold plunged before. This is too cold. I can't do more. I'm like, bro, I'm like, you can if you wanted to. It's a decision, and then you just take the steps or whatever. But most people chicken out. Okay, now some people actually. We had a challenge later on when I was towards the end of my time there. Me and my boys were in the nice hot tub, hot mineral water, and there was a lot of girls there, and there was couples and what have you, and we kept kind of pushing each other. We had this like cold plunge challenge, and they would go in pairs, and they'd have timers and whatever, and I would end up timing some of them, and just to see who can make it a 1 minute, who can make it beyond or whatever. And people who are new or people who've never done it or whatever, thanks in part to me, but in general, like I would say the challenge, right? When you're challenged and you're going up against someone in said challenge, it's only gonna push you to push yourself beyond your mental limits, which I was proud of some people who did. They definitely pushed beyond their conceived limits. Okay, so that was fun. That was fun, and I'll be honest, man. When you go in that cold water after, it's gonna take a few cold plunges to like understand what a cold plunge is like, and the first few times, 30 seconds was absolutely excruciating. Okay, and I noticed my joints would flare up and everything, and it felt like actually it was going to freeze like a frozen ice cube, like you'd see in the Disney movies or whatever, that you just become a frozen ice cube, right? I was like, bro, like my feet are gonna freeze right now if I don't get out. My friend's like, no, it's not, man. I promise. I've done this many times. It's not gonna freeze. You're fine. Just push. Focus on your thing. It's like, okay, cool. So we did. And when you get out of the cold water, right? And guess what? The cold temperature now, it's only at 50 or something. It's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The water itself is only 50 degrees, maybe 55. Okay. It still feels cold, but it's not as cold as like the temperature outside was like maybe in the high 40s, low 50s, right? And normally you would feel cold and you would need jackets, and you would maybe a light jacket or a coat or a hoodie or whatever, right? Normally you wouldn't be out in 50 degree weather in the water. Okay. After getting out of a cold plunge and you've just immersed yourself in cold water for said given time, for me it was a minute multiple times, I had zero cold feelings after I got out. I felt like, oh, okay. Is this Aquaman getting out of the ocean, out of the like the Arctic Ocean, and just like, yeah, I don't feel nothing. This is just normal. And I'll be honest, it's a really cool feeling as a guy. You feel like a superhero in your head because you just did something that, like, to the average person, the average human, it seems insane, right? Going into a cold plunge in general is already like a difficult thing for many. But doing a cold plunge in the winter time when it's already in the 50s out there and maybe in the 40s, that seems absolutely mind-blowing. That seems ridiculous, right? Guess what? It was after I got out, I felt like no cold at all. And I was just sitting there drenched in cold water, sitting there in like 48 degree temperature, did not feel a thing. In fact, I felt good. I felt better afterwards. So yeah, man, highly recommend cold plunging. I'd say it's probably the best, and which will lead me to my next point, but it's one of the best mental toughness building exercises one can do in like the comfort of their home, or at least if they have access to a pool or something that gets cold or something, right? A body of water. Now, I'm going to go back to my original point. Cold plunging in the winter, hot mineral sauna, hot mineral jacuzzi in the winter. That's all a luxury. Okay, you're not really struggling. Okay, I'm sorry. I hate to say it. It's not really a sacrifice. It's not. That is like the epitome of first world problems. Voluntarily choosing to get cold or hot for potential health benefits is the most first world problem thing there is. And yeah, is it uncomfortable at first? Yes. But you know what else is uncomfortable? Living on the streets, having no money, right? Being physically ill, being a stage 5 cancer patient. That's way worse, correct? And so when you have this perspective, hence this podcast, you just don't get bothered by these things. And why should you, right? Now, I'm going to reiterate, I am a child of a third world nation, which I'm proud of, okay? The country of Bangladesh. And I'm grateful for this upbringing, right? I mentioned before, those who don't grow up without any struggle, any tough time, uh, everything is hell for them. Even chipping a nail or not getting enough fries or whatever. Like that's the most spoiled potential person on earth, right? Ask some kid who's begging for $1 a day how bad your day is, right? Ask the millions of poor, poverty-stricken folks in India and China, right, in my home country and Africa, who are even malnourished and barely have access to food and water. Tell them about how difficult the cold plunge is, right? They're gonna think you're absolutely crazy, and they'd trade places with you in a heartbeat. Okay, so yeah, I'm not putting down people who consider like being uncomfortable in cold water or something, or doing heavy lifting or any kind of difficult task as a problem. I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying like it's all based on how you look at the problem. It's not the problem itself. It's how you look at the problem. Cold water immersion, cold plunging in the winter is not actually a sacrifice. Okay. Hashtag first world problems. It's a luxury item that you get to choose to do. No one's making you. You don't have to spend the money at the spa. You don't have to go with your friends and push yourself to do that. And you know what I'm saying? You don't have to get in there if you don't want to. And so it's a luxury item. And me knowing that, I'm just going to push myself more because I'm like, this is not really a problem, people. Like, California is burning right now. God bless California. People are losing homes, their cars, everything. Pretty much what they worked their whole life on. Me getting in a cold water in the wintertime for 60 seconds or whatever, that's a luxury. That is not a real sacrifice. And I'm going to reiterate that to the end of time, okay? It's mentally when you're in a mental space that you have the perspective that this is really a first world luxury item. It's not really a problem. The water not being hot enough is not really an issue. Yeah, is it inconvenience? Sure. Okay, fine. But like, come on, buddy. If you're from a South Asian country, especially, which I am, and I know many who are, like, I don't know why the hell you're complaining about your water is not hot enough. Are you kidding me, bro? Like, it blows my mind. I just don't say anything too much in the moment to close friends of mine who might think that way. But if your coffee's not delivered perfectly, if your jacuzzi water's not hot enough, that's not a problem. I'm sorry. It's not really a problem. Just ask yourself next time, is the thing I'm upset about, is it really a problem? Okay, it's an exercise I do. I have to sweep my floors because I live myself every day. I have to load the dishwasher regularly. I have to heat my own food, sometimes cook my own food all the time, right? Now, it's not actually a problem. Is it? Does it get kind of annoying and does it get kind of inconvenient after a while? Yes. Doing laundry myself, 100 work items, work tasks, my phone's blowing up every day, notifications like crazy, I have to turn them off, right? It's just not really a problem. It's not really an issue. And it's only when we feel down, like when we're stressed, when we're in the heat of the moment and we're juggling a million things, you're flustered, right? Is the term. Yes, when you're flustered, things feel worse than they really are. Okay? When you're super stressed from work or family or drama or social media stuff or group chat things, all the small things feel like big things, but they're not really big things, okay? So ask yourself, is this really a problem? Or, ask yourself, like, how would the people who just lost their homes in California feel? Right? How would some starving child in Africa feel? Right? If they wouldn't have pity on you, it's not a problem. Okay? If they don't have any shred of sympathy, it's not a problem. Okay, because yes, is there hierarchies? Is there? Can you compare apples and oranges? Sometimes, maybe not, but still, if you have a perspective of, is this really a problem, or is it just how I feel about the problem? That's the problem. If you have that perspective, most things are just not a problem. Okay, so so it was fun. It was a fun thing to push myself and be in the cold plunge, do the cold plunge thing multiple times on a nice cool winter night. And shout out again to World Springs and the Colony. Highly recommend. And my friends and I, we got on top of that deal. That was too cool to miss. And it was fun to have accomplished like anything, my goals. Like, yeah, if you're on vacation, you don't necessarily have to push yourself for anything. Me, I guess I'm built different, right? And one guy was like, it's not that serious. And in my head, I was like, if you're a winner, like, it is serious. If your mindset is of a winner, or like, I push myself beyond my limits, then it is serious that can I take that cold water or not, right? And I just thought, I'm like, bro, you're bigger than me, stronger than me, and etc. But you can't push yourself in this cold water, and I can. Then I'm mentally stronger than you, which is a W for me. He can, don't get me wrong, he's bigger than me, so he can definitely probably kick my ass. But that being said, mind over matter. So, anywho, so I think that covers a lot there with that fun spa day, okay, and cold plunge and first world problems discussion. Okay, so I want to get into some self-care, some other self-care stuff, and beyond cold plunging and meditation and saunas and that kind of stuff, which I would say do your own research and look into that, because that's my new favorite thing for self-care practices. Beyond that, man, a good song, a good beat can really switch your mood so fast. Am I right? And on Instagram, when I go on Reels a couple of times a day, I'm working on improving my time of scrolling, but I'm gonna do a new segment for social media shout out, right? On Instagram, there's a artist. His name is Black Lights, spelled BLCKLGHT, on Instagram. And when I come across his reels, I instantly feel better, because he plays his essentially trance, chill beats, EDM mix on top of really cool, like, retro video games, or video game dance club, video and what have you. And I was just jamming to the song. And this one song called Away From You has just been on repeat. And I tell you what, that's a natural serotonin and dopamine booster. Okay? It is such a boost. So shout out to Blacklight on Instagram. Check it out. If you're a fan of EDM, trance, deep house, which I am, highly recommend this guy. And his reels are the bomb. And let's see if I can avoid copyright restrictions in future podcasts or whatever. I'll see if I can sample him for y'all. And so another guy, this is more on the comedy side, okay? This guy, Rise Hendrix. Shout out to Rise Hendrix on Instagram. Bro, I'm a huge fan of your work, okay? It is the best stuff. It automatically makes me feel better, okay? This dude, if you haven't heard of him, definitely check him out. He's really talented. He's a rapper, he's an artist, he's great into hip hop, but he intertwines comedy and rap and like social media TikTok kind of a vibe. Okay, so he'll be the producer, and he'll be this gangster artist that he's also rapping to, and he will rap over like anything and everything. I mean, Katy Perry. He'll rap over Miley Cyrus. He'll rap over basically the least gangster thing possible, the least gangster music possible, and he'll rap over that as a joke, and it's just pure comedy. It is impossible to not laugh and chuckle at that. So that's a serotonin booster right there. Highly recommend Rise Hendrix on Instagram. His character is called Real Gangster. Oh my god, funniest thing ever, man. And he's always doing that, like he's a thug, and then he's rapping over Britney Spears or some shit. It's the funniest thing. So yeah, but social media it's not all bad, right? There's a lot of benefits. Otherwise, we wouldn't be all on it all the time, right? So simple self-care in the digital world. If you come across a really good reel on Instagram, maybe a YouTube short, maybe exactly a relatable one that you need at that very time, listening to a really good song or a good track on Spotify or on YouTube, especially a new one that you just came across, those are like some of the best self-care things we can do outside of your exercise, outside of eating right and going for walks and meditation and sauna and cold plunge and all that stuff, right? I'd say it's like the most accessible thing you can do for a quick boost. And yeah, is it a dopamine boost? Yes. And is the act of scrolling, just a dopamine hit after dopamine hit? Yes. And is that addiction bad? On the long term, yes, right? So I'm not saying be a constant social media scroller. I'm working on that, and there's a lot of negative benefits, and that goes to another realm of the TikTok thing and the U.S. government potentially banning that in the future, but we'll see. Yeah, the act of scrolling on social media, just down, is meant to boost your dopamine levels in your brain, but it's also creating an addiction, the need to do that, right? So that's the addiction part that's bad for you, and the attention will go. That being said, okay, the positive side of things, okay, perspective, is when you come across you're feeling down because work stress or family stress or health stress, whatever. You come across just the right reel at the right time, it is like a flip of a switch, and you just feel awesome. And for this week, for my shout outs, these two guys, Blacklight on Instagram and Rise Hendrix, Rise spelled Ryze, and Hendrix Hendricks, just coming across their reels, instant mood boost. I feel just completely flipped from my stress state and my low mood, and I was dealing with some physical pain too, and emotional in terms of work stress or whatever. So I really needed something, right? So that really helped me, and I'd say it's the most accessible thing for most of us. That being said, just watch your scroll time, okay? Highly recommend you put a timer on that thing, okay? I recommend putting a timer, and after that time, just get off social media and carry on about your day. Okay, huge proponent of that, because that limiting your social media time will boost your overall mood. Okay, that being said, it's not all negative aspect of said social media scrolling. So sometimes, if you do see the right reel or the right post that's positive in nature, that's motivational in nature, that is about traveling, that makes you feel good, for like the fact that people travel and you see beautiful locations that you might want to go one day, or even seeing a nice dog and cat post, right? All these things are modern day mood boosters and dopamine boosters. And I'd say if you're stressed in the moment and you just need a quick boost, that's a simple one on Instagram. Okay, highly recommend. So, and I'm a dude who just loves memes. Okay, memes is my love language. If you get to know me, for those of y'all whose group chat I'm part of, or we DM regularly, or we share memes all the time, you already know this, okay? Sharing memes is my love language, and I'll be honest, I love when my boys, my friends, or whomever, they react to my memes. Okay, it really does feel good, and I'm happy when they do. They don't always. It's fine. They're not. People are not always going to react to whatever, right? That's okay. But when someone does react to your message, that's a first world thing. But when someone reacts to a meme or a funny reel or whatever, basically you're like, oh, okay, yeah, they find it funny, which makes me feel good, and I also find it funny, and so both of us are like sharing in this feeling, and that's a win-win, right? So I personally love that. So memes is my love language. So ladies, take note. If you send memes to me, you're a winner. You're a keeper in my book, right? So that's a big thing. So yeah, man, this podcast has been going long. I wanted to do a longer episode today, in light of missing a few episodes, a couple of days this week. Okay, so going a little bit longer. Now we're gonna get into a real fun topic. So, what's the number one show on Netflix as of January 17, 2025? Squid Game Season 2. Okay? I just finished Squid Game Season 2, and wow, it was really good. It was awesome. I'll do a quick review, but it's not... I'm not like I'm not a YouTuber who's gonna get into reviews, movie reviews or show reviews. But I will plug a couple of channels whom I'm a big fan of. One being Jeff Johns on YouTube, and the other being Chris Stuckman. Okay, these two guys, I've been a big fan of their YouTube movie review channels basically for the past decade. So shout out to y'all, big fan, and they're in the millions of followers, and they're just chugging along, but. Anyway, just a quick touch on Squid Games. Season 2 was good. Okay, now Season 3 is already in the making, and it's probably already in the works. I believe it should be released sometime this year, hopefully. But Season 3 is needed because Season 2 ends. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's not a complete season. Okay, it's not a complete season, and it needs a next season. It's only leading up to next season, so. I'm excited for Season 3. I can't wait to watch that. So this segment is basically going to be lessons from Squid Games, right? There's a lot to take away from this show, okay? I'm going to do my best not to spoil it, but I obviously have to discuss the show and the nature of it, right? People who are in financial debts, find themselves... through some circumstances into these life or death games. If they win, they get a chance to play the whole set of games and potentially become a rich person by the end. And if they lose, unfortunately, they die, but they don't even know that until the end of the first game, right? And if you've watched Season 1, that's one of the most insane original shows and like eye-opening shows ever. But yeah, man, I really had a good time watching this show, and just finished the Season 2 at the behest of my colleagues at work. And so I thought the games that they play this season were not as hardcore. Okay, like it's a game that you could see yourself. Like, yeah, I could probably win that. We could probably do that, right? The only game that they repeated was red light, green light, which we all know. You stop at red light and don't move. If they catch you moving, you're dead. Or if you move afterwards, you're dead. And it's cool to see the main character, Song Gaeun, come back. And now he's like the guide of this of the rest of the players, right? But anyway, I won't go into much detail, but the whole point of his character arc is he's trying to get back at the game masters. He's trying to take back this control. He's trying to fight the system, right? The game itself, because of what it does to people. Obviously, many people die as a result of these games. But why do they die, which we're going to get into, right? It's the whole point is if you win the game, you become wealthy, and therefore you take care of all your debts and financial obligations and whatever financial hellhole you find yourself in. But the show really asks a lot of great questions, and there's over 450 players on this for each game, right? At the start of the game, they have over 450 players, and player 456 is the main character. Okay, it's his story, but it's a lot of moral dilemma. Okay, the show is all about moral dilemma. It's all about exactly how far is a person willing to go for money. Okay, what are they willing to do? Okay, so number one is you could become more wealthy by winning games, but you also run the risk of dying. Okay, so just balancing the two prospects of I could leave here with a lot of money or I could die is a crazy concept. Okay, like you have to be in an insane financial situation, God forbid I am, to even consider like, oh yeah, I have a 50-50 chance of making it out of here like tomorrow, but I also could get I also could win a bunch of money that could help me out, right? So that's a crazy concept in itself. There's so many new characters in this season, right? So many relatable ones. I mean, there's a mother, a young lady who has some drama with another guy, and they lost a lot of money, and now she's expecting, and now you see their journey, right? So it's very sad to see that someone who's pregnant is even in a life or death game, but so that's just a character in this season, and I like how one guy's a YouTuber who bet on cryptocurrency, and just the coin that he pumped or whatever. Maybe it was a pump and dump situation, but end up losing a shit ton, like millions of won. And other people, including one of the bad guys, the antagonist, his name is Thanos. He was a character. He was funny. What's up, my brother? My name is Thanos. He was really funny. That guy's a real K-pop star or something. I don't follow K-pop, so I wouldn't know. But so a really cool mix of characters, everyday people in all walks of life. I mean, you have an older mother with her son, I guess her only child, in financial debt, entering the games for that reason. Okay, you have even an LGBTQ member who's escaping his life and kind of the shame of his family to potentially finance a new life, but through these games, right? So you have so many characters there, and the main character, of course, he's trying to fight the game itself, and it's pretty cool. You see them go from game to game, and it's not as hardcore. Okay, one of the games is you're handcuffed to 4 or 5 people, and you have to go and play a bunch of mini games. So here's where we get into a lot of lessons that I immediately saw as I was watching this. Okay, and when you're watching, the main concern is the characters that you care about, do they live or do they die? They're just characters on a TV show, but oh my god, when you grow attached to them, it's rough to see them not make it if they don't, right? The anxiety of them potentially dying is for real the drama that you get. So yeah, how far is someone willing to go to potentially get out of debt and become wealthy, right? Is it really worth dying for, right? Potentially dying and just your life is over just for a chance to get wealthy in these games? That's a big question. Also, does it justify potentially leading others to their death or causing others to die just for you to have a chance to earn more, right? That's a crazy moral dilemma. And you see that play out in this show big time. And essentially people will divide themselves between a group of people who just want to survive and just even if they go with little money at all, it's worth it compared to playing again and potentially dying. Or the other side is nope. We've won. We've made it this far. We've won so X amount of games so far, and if we keep playing and win again, we're gonna come out with way more money, and we'll be potentially financially well off, right? So you have these two camps. I'm definitely in the camp of nope. I want to survive. I want to live to fight another day. It's not worth potentially my life, or definitely not the life of someone else, especially a loved one, to potentially earn more money. Which in this season, I liked how the prize money is based on the number of players that have been eliminated. Unfortunately, it means you die, but it's this time they gave you the option of sharing that equally amongst all remaining players based on a vote, right? The vote to keep playing or the vote to end and go home. So I do like that. Nobody is forced to play these games, okay? Every player has voluntarily decided based on their circumstances, which is really shitty. It's really bad financial circumstances, and they're up to their eyeballs in debt or whatever. So they see a chance to earn money. They're like, yeah, let's play these games. And then they make it through at least one game or two games where they saw people die. You saw people get shot as soon as the game's over, or as soon as they fail said game. Okay, I'll be honest. The second game was the most intense for me. That was crazy to see them go around and go around the circle, and you have to complete a set of mini games, and each player can at least play one game, and the pressure is on each individual player for them to complete the game before they can go into the next one. You have to finish 5 of those in 5 minutes, and then you have to cross together. Only then you win. So that's like the most amount of pressure. Okay, so yeah, lessons from Squid Games, and specifically from the games that they play. And especially the game where they're going, the six-legged one where they're going around the track. Okay, so you're in a life or death situation. Okay, that's number one. So you're already anxious. Anxiety is gonna be there. It's gonna be high, and it's gonna be in the back of your head no matter what. Right? Now, that being said, can you really perform your best or focus the most if you're feeling anxious or high anxiety? No, you cannot. Okay, acknowledge that the circumstances. Okay, yes, it is true that if we don't win, we're gonna die in this game, but your fear of death is not going to improve your chances of winning. Okay, the anxiety you get from potentially dying as a result of losing the game is only going to make you play worse, which is exactly what happened in that game for many people. One of the first groups to play, they were victims of crazy anxiety, and they were victims of failure and not having self-belief. And this is what I wanted to kind of take away in terms of what I saw, right? The winners of these games all shared something in common. That's because being a winner over and over, and all the greats in any sport can tell you, there's key core elements to this, right? Positive mindset is extremely important, okay? How can you win a game that you don't believe you can win, right? It doesn't make sense. If you don't believe in your mind that you're going to win the game, you already lost. You can't lose in here and then play better or perform better out there. Okay, every football player, every basketball player, baseball player, they can tell you, especially in the pros, that they have to win in their mind every time. I'm going to win. I'm going to I'm going to hit a home run. I'm going to hit this free throw, whatever. They have done that mentally so much that it becomes second nature physically. Okay, so positive mindset is huge, especially in this is an extreme. Squid Games is an extreme concept, and hopefully nobody's ever in that situation. Nobody should be in that situation, right, in real life. But Positive mindset is only going to improve your chances. There's no way being positive about your situation can hurt you. There's no way. It's only going to improve your chances. Okay. So positive mindset, belief in oneself, belief in actual victory, right? That you're going to win. Even if you don't end up winning, just by believing it, you automatically feel you're geared towards victory in your mind first, which means it should translate in your energy, in your actual performance, right? In this extreme example of Squid Games, where it's literally life or death, if you for a second lose in your mind, like, oh my God, it's over, I'm dead, you are definitely dead. Okay? And unfortunately, a lot of the characters met their fate for this reason, right? And by the way, when you miss a shot, when you miss a pass, when you miss an at bat or whatever, or in these games, if you mess up a turn in a game, that doesn't mean give up. Okay, it doesn't mean accept defeat. It means try again and focus and put your energy and everything into this next turn, and all your attention, energy, and focus into this very next turn for you. And you see, guys, that's what we call lock in. Okay, that 2025 lock in. There was one dude, the former Marine, I forget his name, but he locked in and he played this game that was considered a girly game. I forgot his name. Gonji, the name of the game is called Gonji or something, but he crushed it so much that his teammates were like, whoa, how are you so good at that? Like he absolutely destroyed it. He locked the hell in, and they almost like crushed the time in there. But yeah, you have to lock in. Okay, this is an extreme example, but we are taking away lessons for real life. Positive mindset is crucial. Okay, being negative about your situation is not going to improve nothing. Okay, you gotta be positive, and if you're trying to win, and especially when the stakes are high, like there, you have to be positive. You have to have belief. You have to, because as soon as you lose in here, it's game over. You might as well die. You might as well accept your death right now, accept your fate. So, they had a quote there that I also heard before in another movie, I think from a John Wick movie, but the quote goes essentially, "Those who cling to death live, and those who cling to life die." And Squid Games very clearly showed that. If you're afraid of the loss, afraid of losing, and in this case, yeah, the stakes are the highest they can be, your chances of losing increase. Okay? If you're set on winning, or at least you don't have the fear of losing, and you're just like, let's just play. Like, I'll give props to the antagonist Thanos. Now, granted, this dude's popping pills or whatever to get over the edge, but they were carefree. They're like, let's just play. What are the rules? Okay, how much time do I have? Cool. I got my time. I got the rules. Let's do this. I don't care if I lose or whatever. And they ended up actually winning the games. No spoilers, but their chances greatly improves there, right? So you're gonna feel anxious in life, okay? This is an extreme example. Again, I'm just saying, taking away the lessons. Anxiety is gonna be there. Your self-doubt is gonna be there. Okay, lack of belief is gonna be there. But those are not the things. Those are not the recipe of winning. Those are not the recipe of success. Getting over that is the recipe for winning. Okay? Letting go of anxiety, letting go of the fear of losing, being positive and having belief in oneself that you will be victorious. And then you gotta trust in others too. You gotta trust in people, and you also have to have belief in them. Because sometimes you're gonna be dependent on others, like if you're on part of a team, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're part of a team, you are dependent on your team members, which means you also gonna have to be a cheerleader, man. Okay? You're gonna have to be a cheerleader. You're gonna have to believe in them. It's not gonna improve your team's chances by criticizing them or calling them out or whatever. It's just not. Now, in this case, sadly, the ones who the most anxiety, the ones who couldn't hit their targets, the ones who were not positively pushing each other or supporting each other, they definitely suffered defeat. Okay, but the ones who did, they uplifted each other, they believed in each other, they believed in one another, and there was a time where the one who was doubting themselves when the time is when the clock is running down, he had to slap her a couple of times, like, you better focus on this, you better try again, or I'm gonna hurt you, I'm kill you right now. Guess what? They did it, and they ended up making through that. No spoilers, right? But if you saw the show, you know who I'm talking about. And so yeah, man, anxiety is not going to help you. You have to do whatever it takes to win. The stakes cannot be higher in Squid Games, but in real life, still you have to deal with insecurities. You're going to have to deal with negativity or negative people. Okay, you're going to have to deal with lack of belief, right? But there has to be a leader. There has to be leadership, and leaders lead from the front. And leaders are just not going to be anxious. They're not going to hold on to anxiety. They're going to be a team player. They're going to support others on their team. They're going to have strong belief, and they're very clear on the vision of the goal. And in sports, it's the best analogy, right? Obviously, we know that scoring the basket, getting points, is how you win games. And we know in football, it's about getting touchdowns, getting to the other side of the field, and scoring as many touchdowns as possible, and stopping them on defense is the way to win, right? So you're going to have to overcome those same things in life, right, in sports. And I saw that, and I was just like, yeah, the people with the strongest mindset, who didn't have the fear of dying, who didn't have the anxiety getting to them, who didn't let the fear of death bother them, they're the ones who won. Plain and simple. Okay, so I when I saw that, I was like, that's 100% something I should talk about, and there's a lot of lessons there. Okay, and like I said, this is not a straight up review on the show, but I did like the show. I did like the season, and I'm looking forward to season 3. And there's a lot of moral dilemmas in this show. Okay, there's a lot of extreme situations in this show, and how far, it asks a lot of questions. How far is someone willing to go to become wealthy or to help others? Are they willing to kill someone? Are they willing to prevent someone else from living? You know what I'm saying? So it's a pretty deep show. Now, human nature, right? Let's just be real. When it comes to life and death situation, which is the most extreme situation, I mean, self-preservation is paramount. It is a priority. Yes, like everyone who's faced with death, and I might get into that later, but I have faced that before. But self-preservation is your number one concern, right? And then, God forbid, you have loved ones with you, then yeah, their self-preservation is also your concern, obviously, right? So yes, self-preservation is your concern and is your number one priority when it comes to a life and death situation. That being said, you also, if it comes between that and the death of someone else, or especially someone who's in a worse situation or whatever, that's a question that you must figure out. That's something you must ask yourself, right? So, should it come at the cost of others? Okay, should it come at the expense of many people? Okay, now it's gonna feel, that's called guilt, survivor's remorse. That's a real thing. Anyone who survived the tragedy or a horrific event or an accident or a war can talk about that. But yeah, so these are questions that come up in these extreme circumstances, right? And so, anywho, those are just some things I took away from this show, from this season, that I wanted to share with y'all. And yeah, we're over the hour mark, which is at least twice as long as a normal episode, but I figured you guys earned it because of my lack of episodes this week. So Hope you guys enjoyed. I think that's enough. But yeah, I'm just gonna reiterate one last time. When it comes to extreme circumstances like life or death, self-preservation is paramount and top priority. But that being said, if it comes at the cost of others and their lives and other people's lives, then that's a deeper question, a moral dilemma that one has to answer for themselves. Okay, and yeah, when it comes to success within teamwork, right? It's the same things that holds true whether you're in a basketball team, in a work team, whether you're, God forbid, you're in a life or death team game like in Squid Games. But it still comes to positive mindset. It still comes to belief in oneself and belief in others. It still comes to overcoming anxiety and not focusing on the outcome, but focused on the actual task in front of you. Okay, focus on the task in front of you, not the outcome. And certainly, if you're not playing not to lose, you're playing to win. Okay, so playing to win is totally different from playing not to lose. Because whoever plays not to lose, your chance of losing just goes up, right? But when you play to win, your chance of victory also goes up. So yeah, I think that's enough for tonight. I had a fun Friday night talking with you guys. All right, so this is Mosh, and again, it's just some perspective. And if you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below to let me know what perspective that you've gained from this or from any other TV show. Comment below, let me know. And again, as always, it's just some perspective, and we'll see you all later. Peace.